Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. I'm glad to have you guys here on this February 21st, 2023, a Tuesday. Oh, what's happening in the world right now? You all have heard, train derailments across the country. Uh, Before that, there was massive amounts of food distribution centers, fires that were breaking out here, there, and everywhere. Uh, Last summer, there was cattle that were strangely dying in the field. It's like tens of thousands of heads of cattle. Just they said, well, it was heat, but never seen that happen before. Just weird stuff happening right now. An explosion's rocked a metal plant, sending large flumes of black smoke into the air. Bedford, Ohio facility. Uh, and what are they saying about it all? They're saying this big explosion or whatever. It says multiple victims burned. Multiple victims burned after massive explosion at metal manufacturing plant in Bedford, Ohio. And according to them, they say, well, it's a mystery explosion. They don't know what caused it. Uh, you know, all of these things seem to be mystery explosions, mystery train derailments, mystery food plants burning up, mystery this, mystery that. But I'm starting to question stuff a little bit because we should be questioning these things. You're like, what in the hell's going on? And also, Biden made this visit, a big, large show of commitment to Ukraine, and just recently made this, like in the last couple of days, and I guess he's now in Poland, I think. Anyway, Russia is responding back, and they're suspending the only remaining major nuclear treaty with the United States. It says Russian President Vladimir Putin declared Tuesday that Moscow was suspending its precipitation in sometimes I try pronouncing stuff in the New START treaty. Participation. Sorry, I don't know. He's getting word twisted a little bit once in a while, but participation in the New START treaty, the last remaining nuclear arms control pact with the United States. This sharply ups the ante amid tensions in Washington over the fighting in Ukraine. So this is a major escalation. Moves us, as far as I'm concerned, it does move the clock closer to midnight. Much closer. This is verification that we're in a new Cold War with Russia and China. As this thing progresses, what do you think's going to happen? Look at your car. Yeah, when you buy a new car and you take it off the lot, it can break at any time. Things can go wrong with it. You say, well, it's under dealer warranty or whatever. Well, what if it's not under dealer warranty, but all of the cars out there, right? Where do you think used auto parts come from? The Tooth Fairy? Most of them have a little stamp on the side of them that says made in China. Okay? So picture a world where your car needs a new clutch plate or whatever, or some minor part. And you take your car into the dealer. Say you take your car to the dealer and they say, oh, I'm sorry, we're waiting on that part. You say, well, what am I going to drive? And they say, well, that's not really our problem. How long is the part going to take to get here? Well, 6 months. Picture this hitting the trucking industry. Half of their trucks might be out for repair, and they can't repair them or waiting on parts. And we don't produce parts like maybe we do have a few places machine auto parts and stuff, but most of it's done in China. And as this thing progresses, as this Cold War progresses, don't you think there's going to come a certain point? Because when the nations are at war with one another, they don't trade anymore. Trade goes out the window at a certain point. So right now, there's still a hefty inflow of stuff coming from China. But at a certain point, I mean, if like that general, he put out a thing not long ago. He said that the United States would be going to war with China in 2025. I think he said. It's 4-star general. And I mean, let's just say he's right. Let's say that happens, and we're actually at war with China. Do you think that there's still going to be a lot of Chinese auto parts coming in to repair your cars? And how long does it take for the United States to gear up to make the parts to repair their own vehicles? That's something you should consider. How long would it take before you're able to get parts that have a little stamp on them that says "Made in America"? After we've farmed out all of our industry to countries that can build things cheaper. We used to be, at one time, the they didn't call it Motown for nothing. Motor City, Detroit, and they've shut down almost everything, all the manufacturing. I mean, what were we thinking? But at any rate, how much parts would you need? Even if there's some sort of a nuclear exchange, still, you need things to keep the machinery oiled and keep things running. Your tractors, even to plow the fields or whatever. Because if they keep on with this where they're going down this road, we're going to be tilling the fields by hand. In the end, with something called a hoe, you know, which was a farm implement that none of us have used before, that makes blisters on your hands. That's where we're headed in all this. If this doesn't change, something doesn't change, And the only ones that can really change things, because the world leaders now have a beef with one another. The only thing that can really change things is the people. Anyway, moving on. 21.88 for silver. It's up 11 cents on the day. I can see something coming, guys, and you want to listen carefully what I'm going to say. I can see it coming. They're going to bring the central bank digital currency. It's already in the works. I mean, they've already implemented it. They've already started, but it's in such a small way that they haven't really. But it's out there already. The Fed initiative for the central bank digital currency. But they're going to bring these central bank digital currencies. You can bet on it. So, there's an awful lot of dollars is the big thing. Real physical, what you call cash, is the big thing that people use in illicit markets around the world. More than they don't use Bitcoin. They use dollars, sacks of dollars. You've all seen it in the movies. It's cliche, a brown paper bag full of rolled up $100 bills, and they slide it under the table, right? And nobody knows about that transaction because it's illicit. That's why they're doing it. That's why they slide it under the table. And it goes on at an immense scale. It's absolutely immense, the amount of this that goes on behind the scenes out there on a regular basis. So say they do away with currency. Say they do away with the dollar bill. There's no dollar bill anymore. The only dollars exist that at that point would be a central bank digital currency dollar that's on your phone or whatever. All of these illicit transactions that go on, they ain't going to be able to do them anymore. I mean, in my mind, that's just a simple 1 + 1 = 2. Because they will get caught. Because there's a transaction record that's going to be stored with the government for all of this. And this is a huge black market that already exists, but it's like behind the scenes. It's like a speakeasy sort of thing. And so think about that. Put two and two together. Two and two equals four with this. So now they remove that ability for them to use dollars anymore for all these hidden transactions that are in the system. There's countless amounts of them. Probably $1 trillion. Well, maybe not $1 trillion a day, but probably at least $100 million or something, or $1 billion a day or something. I don't know what the numbers are, but I know it's huge, absolutely huge. The amount of money that passes hands under the table in this society, in the black markets. It's it's huge. Okay, so all of it's going to be on their record, on their blockchain record for their central bank digital currency. They'll be able to see it all. Do you think that now the next thing in this is? Do you think that all of these illegal guys are going to continue to do it with knowing they're going to get caught? No, they're just going to They're not going to transact at all in the central bank digital currency. They'll just stop. Well, how are they going to operate then? How are they going to facilitate these transactions then at that point, when the central bank digital currency is the only currency out there? Well, to me, it's obvious. They're going to have to switch over. So are they going to switch to cryptocurrency to do it? Well, again, it all can be tracked online. It's the same thing as the what do you call it? It's the same. So they're not going to do that. They're not going to take that route because they can all be tracked there too. And that's why they've used dollars for that. Is because it can't be tracked. It's not online. It's offline. But now picture a world where all that's gone. Suddenly gone. Well, it just seems obvious to me. There's only one thing left that's untrackable. Now the BRICS nations are already switching to that. They're allowing transactions in gold and silver. It's just one of those things. You should be able to see it coming. The whole if all of the transactions in the world, all these illicit transactions are, and I mean, just can't you see it coming? Gold and silver. And so, like these kingpins and stuff, these bad guys who have a safe full of money, dollars, like heaps and stashes of them. Maybe it's some sort of an illicit transaction guy, one of these guys that are in a seedy kind of guys. And you picture, you've seen it all and seen it in the movies. They walk over to their safe and they open their safe up and they got like $10 million in there stored away in U.S. $100 bills, stacks and stacks and stacks. You've all seen it in the movies, right? Well, they're gonna have to switch all that out, and now their safe is gonna have to be all full of gold bars instead, and gold coins and gold and silver. Well, in the process of switching all that out, where are they going to get all these gold coins? Well, they'll have to buy them in order for them to transact illicitly, like they have been. So the next step in the question on all this, you'd say to yourself, well, what's the government going to do about all that? Because this gives them ample opportunity to step in and say, well, we're going to have to crack down or whatever on this. And eventually I can see it coming where they're not going to let you buy gold or silver unless you have a license. That's the side they're going to hit it on. You talk about gold confiscation, silver confiscation. No, they're not going to confiscate it. It's too widespread. It'd be too hard to do. I mean, what are they going to do? Knock on everybody's door and say, I want Aunt Martha's silver earrings? Your heirloom? No, they ain't going to fly. But what will fly is your local silver dealer, your coin store. Well, all they're going to have is numismatics or whatever. All the gold, all the silver bars, gold bars, all of it will all be cleared out. You won't be able to buy it. Maybe it'll still be there, but you'll have to have a special license to buy it, and only people that are connected to the government will be able to buy the stuff. That's what they're going to cut off. They're going to cut off the. Now you'll be able to sell to them, unload. Because they want that. They want to get all of it. They want it all for themselves. But you're not going to be able to buy it any longer. And that's the door they're going to close. And they got so many excuses to close that door, guys. One of the big excuses is basically to say it's money laundering and it's blah blah blah. They'll be able to say that at that point and it'll be true. And the second big excuse, well, we need it for the war effort. There's another big excuse. We need it to make our machines of war. We can't make our machines of war without it. And by that time, they might have a tremendous amount of you know how when nations go into wartime, it's like they build that all up, you know. And so, I mean, the whole thing. I mean, looking a little bit further out, uh, they'll have plenty of excuses to say, hey, you know, we have to have all the silver for ourselves and gold. And, well, like I've pointed out in my shows for the longest time, I said that all these little shops will spring up. We buy gold. No, they're not going to sell it to you. We buy gold, we buy silver. What they're going to do is they're going to hyperinflate the currency where people are starving and they can't even feed themselves. And by that time, the price of gold and silver is going to be to the moon. And when it gets to the moon, you're going to see all these little shops open up. We buy silver, we buy gold. And they're going to be desperate to get it. But you're not going to be able to buy off of these shops. If you had $1 million and walked into one of these shops, they won't sell to you. They're only going to sell to the smelter that comes to pick it up. So picture buckets of gold and buckets of silver being brought in by people who are starving. They got to sell Aunt Martha's earrings because you're starving, right? So you take Aunt Martha's earrings in, they weigh them, they give you money for them, and they dump them in a bucket according to grade and sorting. And then what happens is about once a week, a company comes in and takes all that stuff and goes with it. But that company will be probably connected to the government. And basically they melt it all down into bars. And then where do you think it goes? It's just going to disappear into the government vaults. They want all your gold and silver. They're going to confiscate it, but they're not going to confiscate it with a hard confiscation. They're going to do a soft confiscation where they make your standard of living so difficult to keep up with the hyperinflation, to feed yourself, that you're going to come in and sell it to them. Because you're got to pay your rent or you got to pay for whatever. They've made you so poor. You're going to sell it back to them, then they're going to resmelt it down into bars and blocks and put it away in their vault. And they're going to get all the gold and silver. You know, I mean, they're organized. You're not. You know, and where do they get the money to buy all this gold and silver? Well, they'll have the CBDC by then, and they can create endless amounts of it for practically nothing. It doesn't matter that it's inflating at that point in time. It's not going to matter. They're going to give in to the inflation. They're going to embrace the inflation, and they're going to use it to buy up all the goodies. Unlevered money. Money that doesn't function properly any longer. They can make money from nothing and use it to buy up all of the things in the world that make you have anything at all. So that you are left in poverty and they're left in utter riches. How tempting. I look at it as the biggest theft in the history of the world. The biggest armed robbery over us. And I say armed robbery because, yeah, they get the military. What are you going to do? Anyway, silver price is up 9 cents right now. Let's take a look at gold. Gold price is down $4.50 at 1836. Let's take a look at cryptocurrency today. Crypto's maintaining pretty good. 24,371 for Bitcoin. And Ethereum is at 1663. Take a look at the Dow. Refresh the page. It's down 530 points. We've had so many false starts to this crash. So this could be just another false start. But we'll wait and see. But eventually this crash is coming. And the longer it takes to get here, the more energy it's going to have. And that's because the Fed is tightening up the noose tighter and tighter on this whole thing. S&P 500 is down 65 points at 4,013. Taking a look at crude oil is at 76.10. It's down 24 cents. Bonds and rates today. We're looking at a severely amount of climbing yield. I mean, this is big. U.S. 10 years at 3.91 and the U.S. 30 years at 3.94. And we're seeing is my eyes correct? 9.1 basis points on the 10 year? That's a big leap in yields. So, U.S. dollar index today is at 103.98. The debt market's a little bit unhinged. And that could be disastrous for the stock market very soon. But keeping our eye on it. Thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next show. And you guys have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.